Hello and welcome to the Target Prelims 2019 series. The first topic that we shall be discussing today is about the Kaveri Management Scheme. Now I have selected this because this was an important piece of news in the month of June in the year 2018. So this makes it very important for the prelims. Now this is a scheme that deals with the release of water from Karnataka to Tamil Nadu, Kerala and Puducherry. So first and foremost, you should know that the flow is from Karnataka to these three states. Also, this gives us an opportunity to know about the four riparian states of the Kaveri Basin, that is Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Puducherry. Though it's an easy question, but you never know with UPSC, it can be asked. Also, what you should know is that this is a scheme that is going to be implemented by the Kaveri Water Management Authority, and this will be the sole body to implement the tribunal's award that has been given and that has been further modified by the Supreme Court. This was a dispute tribunal which gave its award in the year 2007. You should know some background in this respect is what is vital. Another thing that is important is that the central government will have no say. So this can be a question that the central government will also have a say. So no, it will not have a say. And the scheme has two components. The first component is the Kaveri Water Management Authority and the second component is the Kaveri Water Regulation Committee. Something that you should also know is about the Supreme Court modifying the tribunal's award. Now what the Supreme Court has done is that it has increased Karnataka's share by 14.75 thousand million cubic feet to meet Bengaluru's drinking water needs. Now another thing that you should know is that Karnataka will now be required to release 177.25 thousand million cubic feet to Tamil Nadu every year as against 192 earlier requirement of 192. So these figures are something that you do not need to learn, but yes, some trends is what is vital, that Karnataka is getting a more or a higher share now. So this is something that is important. Bengaluru's drinking water requirements have been taken into consideration. Now coming to the most important aspect which can be asked, the first is the composition and functions of this body, which is the Kaveri Water Management Authority. Now coming to the composition aspect, first and foremost, you should know that there will be a chairman. He will be appointed by the central government, who will be a senior or eminent engineer, or he will be from the All India Service Office. He will be an All India Service Officer. And another thing that you should know, that he will have a term of 5 years or 65 years. So this is one question that can come. Below him, there will be two whole-time members. These members will be representing the Central Water Engineering Service and the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare respectively, and the members will have a term of 3 years each. So there will be two members, then there will be a chairman. Then there will be 6 part-time members, of which 2 will represent the central government and 4 will be from the party states. So below them, 6 temporary members. Then there will be a member secretary, and the headquarters of the authority shall be in New Delhi. This is one of the important questions which can be asked, and all the expenses of the authority will be borne by the concerned party states. Now, this is something that is important. Also, what becomes important for us to know is something about the functions. The functions are that this body will monitor and determine the total residual storage of these particular states. It will appropriate the shares of these states. It will regulate the release of water by Karnataka to these states. Also, it will advise suitable measures to improve water use efficiency, and it will take suitable actions in case of defaults by party shares. So these are the functions that this body is going to perform. So this is something that becomes important for prelims. The second body that becomes important for prelims is the Kaveri Water Regulation Committee. This is again important. This body will be headquartered in Bengaluru. So this is another point of difference between the authority and the committee. The authority will be in New Delhi, whereas the committee will be in Bengaluru. Also, this would consist of a chairman and 1 representative each of the party states. And also, it will have a representative of the Indian Meteorological Department and the Central Water Commission and the Ministry of Agriculture and for Farmers Welfare. So this is something that you should know about this particular body. This is the composition. Obviously, there will be a member secretary also, and what the function will be, that this will largely perform technical functions. For example, it will collect data regarding level, inflow, storage and release of water periodically. It will prepare seasonal annual report of the water account of southwest monsoon, northeast monsoon, hot weather, and submit it to the authority. So who is more supreme amongst these two bodies? It is the authority that has major role to play, and the function of the Water Regulation Committee is largely a technical one. So this is one difference between them. The headquarters are important. The composition is what is important for prelims. So that is about this topic. Coming to the next topic for today, which is a scheme of the Government of India. This is the Krishi Kalyan Abhiyan. Now, this is a scheme under the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. This one be one question. Another thing that is important here vis-a-vis this particular scheme is that this will be undertaken in 25 villages, and these 25 villages will be selected in each aspirational district. Now, how this district is what is going to be identified is, this will be in consultation with the Ministry of Rural Development as per the directions of the Niti Aayog. So, Niti Aayog and Ministry of Rural Development has consultatory role here, but the scheme is under the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare is what is important. And these two have to be ruled out in that particular case. Now, the various activities that are going to be taken up under the scheme are, first and foremost, it will envisage a distribution of soil health card to all the farmers. There will be 100% coverage of bovine vaccines for foot and mouth disease in each village. This is a bovine disease. Next, there will be 100% coverage of sheep and goat for eradication of the PPR disease. Next, there will be distribution of mini kits of pulses and oilseeds to all the farmers. There will be distribution of horticulture, agroforestry and bamboo plants at the cost of 5 per family. This is again important, 5 per family. Next, what is important is that it will include making 100 NADAP pits in each village. Now, these pits are largely compost pits. This is a name that is given to compost pits. So, organic farming is what is going to be encouraged here. Also, artificial insemination saturation is what is going to be done under the scheme. Further, there will be demonstration programs on micro irrigation for the farmers. There will be demonstrations of irrigated cropping practices that will be done for the farmers. Another thing that is important here is the focus on integrated cropping practice. As I mentioned here, as already, there will be demonstrations on micro irrigation and integrated cropping practice. Another thing that is very, very important is the training programs that are going to be done. These training programs, for example, will be on beekeeping, mushroom cultivation, kitchen gardening. But what is important is that focus will be more on women participants and women farmers. So this is something that is important vis-a-vis this particular scheme. A question can be expected in prelims. Coming to the next scheme for today, which is the Krishan Unnati Yojana. Now, this is also known as the Green Revolution Scheme. This is largely implemented. Background is what you should know, that the 5-year plan is something that has been done away within India. So, in aftermath of that, several schemes were facing some challenges that whether they will be shut down. So, to control that, to encompass all these schemes that were to be shut down because of the conclusion of the 5-year plan, the Krishan Unnati Yojana is what has been introduced. This is an umbrella scheme of 11 schemes or missions that were already going on under the Government of India, and this is a scheme that will be implemented for 3 financial years because there is no 5-year plan now. So this is something first and foremost that is important. Also, what becomes important for us are the 11 schemes and missions which have been undertaken under the Krishan Unnati Yojana. This can be a direct question which can come in PT. The first is the mission for integrated development of horticulture. I have given some details of these schemes also, which you can read for your general knowledge. The second scheme is the National Food Security Mission. This will also include the National Mission on Oilseeds and Oil Palm. The third scheme is the National Mission for Sustainable Agriculture. The fourth scheme will be the Sub-Mission on Agriculture Extension. This includes ongoing extension mechanisms of the state governments and local bodies, which are about achieving food and nutritional security and socio-economic empowerment of farmers. Now, whenever we talk of agriculture extension, it is that we should go beyond agriculture. Benefits and socio-economic empowerment of farmers is what is focused upon. The next scheme that is included here is the Sub-Mission on Seed and Planting Material. The next scheme here is the Sub-Mission on Agricultural Mechanization. Then the Sub-Mission on Plant Protection and Plant Quarantine. This is to protect plants from various pests, diseases, weeds, nematodes, rodents, etc. The next scheme is the Integrated Scheme on Agriculture Census. Economics and Statistics is what has been included amongst the 11 schemes. The 9th scheme is the Integrated Scheme on Agricultural Cooperation. The next scheme here is the Integrated Scheme on Agriculture Marketing and the National E-Governance Plan. Now, even if you cannot by heart these particular schemes, some reading or some memory of these schemes is what is important, so that in prelims we can make a reasoned guess and we can eliminate some options. So that is why these schemes are reading even through these schemes is what becomes important for us to deal with the prelims questions. So that's all for today's video. I thank you all for watching the video, and I would request you to suggest us some more topics if you want me to discuss those topics. So I hope to see you tomorrow. Thank you.